Hello world, this is Binta. I uploaded a video yesterday showing my mother's refugee card to the refugee in French from Guinea, and I said that the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugee was created in the 1990s, and I was incorrect. They were in fact created in 1950. UNHCR is a refugee agency, and they were the ones who actually issued my mother this refugee card when we were in Kisidigu in Guinea. And I learned from my mother yesterday that domicile is residence. So when they asked her where she was from, she said Sierra Leone, and they asked further and she said Kabala. So Kabala is a province in Sierra Leone. And our house is like below the mountain valleys, so we were surrounded by mountains, and Sierra Leone is known for having mountain lions. And I think the name Sierra Leone, land of the lions, was probably after the Spain colonized Sierra Leone for a bit before the British, hence English is now the common language. So back to the story. The domicile is residence, where she was from, and she's from Kabala, Kabala, and this individual wrote Gobela. Close enough, but I learned something new every day, and this was something that I learned, and I thought I should upload it with the corrections. And I also learned that the reason my mother wasn't smiling, not because most refugees didn't smile because of their situation, but actually she had all her front teeth at the time were destroyed. She didn't have any front teeth. They were all chopped. They were chopped off from wherever she fell after she was shot. So eventually, after coming to the US, she got dentures for all her upper teeth. And if you see the video with my graduation, she was smiling with all her pearly whites. And I'll have more stories about that in the future. So this is just, once again, addressing a misspoken statement about the creation of the UNHCR, the refugee agency, and the French word for domicile or residence, which they wrote Gobela or Sogobela, which is really close, I guess, to Kabbalah. And language barriers being an issue at the time probably played a role in that. And when this refugee card was issued to her, I was probably 7 or 8 years old, and when we got to Senegal, I was 8 or 9. And then by the time we get to New Jersey from the Catholic Charities family, I was probably 10 or 11 or 12. We don't really have a birth certificate with my age, so we don't know how old I am exactly, but it's all good. And in her refugee card, they said she's 36 years old. She may have been plus or minus, who knows. I do not have a birth certificate. I was born at home, same home that my mother was born. She did not have a birth certificate. Her mother didn't have a birth certificate, and her mother's mother didn't have a birth certificate. So when you were delivered at home, usually a midwife or older mom would come and help. In my case, it was a woman named Nurse Koka. She was a nurse. When I went to Sierra Leone in 2017, she had passed away. So one day I hope to reconnect with any of Miss Nurse Koka's, the late Nurse Koka's relatives, so I could thank them personally for cutting the umbilical cord, for helping my mom. And I was born tiny and hungry, so I instantly put my fist into my mouth, and my mom was worried I wouldn't survive because I was tiny and malnourished. And to this day, I have a very interesting relationship with food. I love food, but I also sometimes, yeah.